30 is probably the weirdest age I can think of. You have a lot of people that are either in one of three categories. They're either married or getting married, in situationships, or completely single. Right now, I'm 32. So I see a lot of my peers and people I went to class and high school with, they're now going to the ages of getting engaged and married. And it's a very weird phenomenon right now because people who are getting married have no business getting married whatsoever, right? And social media has this way of showing our highlights like it's just the best thing in the world and it's the best. You see the happy engagement photos and you see them doing destination weddings and their friends being gathered at these surprise proposals. But fellas, I want to tell you something. Don't fall for the trap because it's an illusion. It's not real. And for every friend that I've seen get married over the past 3 or 4 years, and the ones that are getting married right now, a lot of them have also gotten divorced. You see, because marriage is a thing that you have to constantly work on and actually get better as a person to be in. Social media has us fooled. They think that because you can just ask somebody to be married to you, that you should actually be getting into that relationship. Truth is, before you're getting married, you should be doing a lot of physical work, a lot of inner work, and people just do it for the show. But the point of today's video, fellas, I don't want you to get caught up in that hype because it's easy to look at that and be like, man, I should be getting married too. Man, I should be out here doing something with my fiance or girlfriend as well. Don't fall into it. What I want you guys to do is build slowly. And I'm trying to tell you, the people that are getting married right now, that's going to be their greatest achievement in their life. Going 50-50 on a house with their spouse, the wedding that they can't afford, but they're going into debt for. These are going to be highlights of their life. If you keep grinding, you keep working, your highlight is going to be complete time freedom, complete location freedom, the ability to do whatever you want. But it's going to take a sacrifice on the forefront. But as far as people getting married, let's have a conversation about it, fellas. The people you see getting married, they're going to show you on Instagram the highlights, the engagement, the pre-planning, and all this stuff. And I've seen so many of my classmates fall for this trap too, man. Because let's face it, honestly, for most people, getting married is going to be the highlight of their life, especially if you're a woman. It's a day where everything is about you. If you're a woman, you're the princess on that day. And it feels so good because your family, your friends, your close people, they're around you for that day because they're there to celebrate you. Honestly, for the most part, most people's weddings are going to be one of the few days it's 100% about them. And I'm not anti-marriage. I'm never going to sit here and say like that I am. What I am is anti-people doing things they know they should not be doing. Because the majority of people who are getting married shouldn't be married in the fucking first place. And I'm going to tell you guys this too. The people you see getting married right now, don't get jealous of them. Don't get upset. Because as my brother's father always says, shout out my brother D, but time will always expose everything. So the people you see celebrating right now that wedding, they're going to be crying their divorce. The people you see spending all this money on these weddings right now, they're going to be crying because they're in debt. Social media never see that though. And I want you guys to understand what I was saying earlier too. Do not mistake and think that I'm thinking that marriage is a bad idea or something bad you shouldn't be getting into. I think marriage is a beautiful thing when done right. But a lot of people have work to do before they even ever get married. Let's look on the men's side. Most men are not working out. Most men don't have their finances together. Most men are not the kind of men that are trying to build and lead new lives, trying to make more money. If you're a man who's fat, if you're a man who's broke, if you're a man who's out of shape, if you're a man that's not making $100,000 plus a year and trying to make more, you should not be getting married. You got to understand something. As a man, our job is to lead and provide to our woman. If you a fat man, where you leading your woman to? You can't even lead yourself. If you're a broke man, where you leading your woman to? And realize something, fellas, broke is not necessarily a bank account number or a number in your account. Broke is a mindset. If you are not actively trying to make more money, trying to become a better man, trying to put more money in your account so you can save your future wife and your children, why are you getting married? A lot of us men, we have traumas that we've held on to from past relationships, from our parents, things that happen in our childhood. As a man, you're called to protect your wife, not only in the emotional realm, but also in the physical one. If you cannot protect her emotionally as well, you should not be leading her. So I'm telling you, women are going to do things, they're going to try you on a different level. And if you aren't secure enough to weather your woman's storm of emotions and the things she has going on in her life, you are going to fail and fail miserably. I can't think of anything worse than picking the wrong woman to become your wife. That's how important your life selectors and your partners actually are. The next thing that I see men do wrong when they're getting married is they kind of get complacent. You got to understand something. As a man, daily competition is going to be your norm. People are always trying to take the things that you have. And if you do not have a healthy sense of paranoia about what's going on and to protect the things you have in your life, you are going to be screwed. As a man, there's always somebody willing to do more work than you're doing. There's always someone willing to try to come in and take your wife, take your children. There are bad people out here. So when you have a wife, you need to make sure you're doing the things to protect that asset, because your wife can't be an asset. There are going to be men that want to sleep with your wife, take your wife from you. What are you doing to combat that? You should be taking your wife on multiple dates a week. You should be making sure she feels appreciated and special. This is not about being simping, fellas. It's not about that. It's understanding something that life is a competition. People are going to want to come and take the things that you have. And if you have a good woman, that's a commodity. That's something to protect. But see, where you guys mess up, you get the woman and you think that once you have her, that's the end of it. And I can't sit here and lie, like I'm not guilty of that sometimes as well. I can get a little bit complacent. I think as humans, we all kind of can. But the key is to recognize that complacency and then do something about it. And here's what I see that screws women over more than anything. And this is why you see the divorces that are going to be happening in record numbers over the next couple of years. Is people treat love like it is this Disney fairy tale once upon a time story. Love has beautiful moments, but for the most part, it's ugly. And no one wants to talk about this, but there are days where you can't stand your partner. There's days you don't want to be around your partner. There's going to be days where you fantasize and think about other people that you rather would have been with. And nobody talks about that. The expectation that once you get married and that's just a wrap and you're automatically happy, that's what kills most relationships. It's that idea that you have an expectation now, like, oh yeah, I'm going to be happy 100% of the time. And this mostly falls on the women because you guys fall for that ruse. It's like, once I find my person, I'm going to be 100% happy all the time. Newsflash. Women ain't never 100% happy about anything. Honestly, if I'm being honest, women are more miserable than they are happy. And that's why they need a man to come in and regulate their emotions. And that's why it's so easy for women who are married. They normally cheat more than anybody because now she's constantly comparing every single man she comes across to a husband. And most men who get married, they get complacent. They stop working out. They never go to the gym. They get fat. This is a two-way street. So now in her mind, she only has to compare you to one person, which is a husband, as compared to the infinite options she had previously to her being married, right? So married women are actually the easiest people to actually sleep with because of that comparison. And I think that if we were more honest with women, we told them about marriage and what actually goes on, people wouldn't be in such a rush to get there. Marriage is work. Marriage is hard. And even the few friends that I have that are married, they profess one way on the internet, but when they talk to me one-on-one, it's a whole different thing. And men are naive because they think because they're the only ones complaining that the wife ain't complaining too. That's going to be a lot of you guys' downfall. Is thinking that once you have your wife, she's kept. But I'm telling you, I've slept with my fair share of married women, and they're the easiest women to sleep with. Movies, shows, and media, they've lied to us. Remember, movies only show you the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. That's where the excitement in the movie happens. When the truth about life is that the majority of life is going to be mundane. It's going to be a lot of taking the kids to doctor's appointments, picking the kids up from school, having dinner at the same time every single night, going to the same places, going to the in-laws spots. But what movies show you the honeymoon phase. You know, the vacations, the going out of the countries, the newlywed phase, because when you're with somebody for the first 2 years, that's like the easiest time in the world to be with somebody. Everything feels fresh, everything feels new, everything feels exciting. But only a fool thinks that those things last. You can build a foundation full of love and commitment to a person, but to think that those euphoric feelings of that puppy love stage or that honeymoon phase lasts, you're going to be naive. And women especially, they think they're supposed to be happy 24/7. I got news for you. You talk to any married woman, they'll tell you that, look, this ain't the easiest thing in the world. I have married friends. Hate to admit this, but I have married women I sleep with right now. I'm going to try to phase that out. I don't believe it's good karma, but I understand why it happens. So when you see all these people rush into getting married and you see them rushing to the altar and rushing to show their rings off and stuff, realize that it's not going to be something that's going to last because it's not built on the foundation of anything. In order to be a good spouse, you have to do the deep inner work that's required to do that and be a good person. Keep it a buck, guys. Self-awareness in 2025 is at a 0. Self-work is at 0. Most people can't commit to anything long term. People have a hard time going to the gym for longer than a month. And by standards of being in a 20, 30-year marriage, that's the easiest thing in the world. Going to the gym for 30 days and then being married for 30 years, going to the gym is a whole lot easier than being married for 30 years. You think that people that can't even commit to 30 days in a gym consistently are going to commit to 30 years of marriage? I have news for you. It ain't going to happen. Our generation is fucked. The attention span is fucked because, see, you understand, most of us can't even sit and watch a movie anymore, read a single page of a book, and you're probably going to ask yourself, how does that relate to being married for a long term? That's how it is, because we're looking for these constant dopamine hits. We're looking for something new all the time. It's like we can't focus on one thing as simple as a book. How can you focus on one person for longer than 20 or 30 years? If you don't believe me, as Rollo Tomasi always says, you're going to hear me now and believe me later. The majority of your marriages, the people that are getting married right now, you will be divorced in less than 5 years. I hate to say that, but the truth will set you free. All these times you spend on looking good for the gram as opposed to actually doing the inner work, it's going to come back to haunt you. Give it time. Reality is going to sort itself out. And just to talk to my guys here, you guys are going to feel the temptation. I understand, especially as you get older. When you're with a girl for longer than a year or two, especially around the 30s, they're going to start pushing that marriage narrative around. Fellas, I don't care how good the girl is. If you're not ready, don't do it. It ain't worth it. Because if you're trying to build an empire, you got to understand something. Women will tolerate you stringing them along. They will tolerate you not committing to them as long as you're a man that's worth it. You got to ask yourself this question. If you're a man that's building yourself up, trying to start businesses, trying to learn about the economy, making money, investing in stocks, crypto, real estate, where's she going to go? She can't replace you because most dudes out here are bums. They're losers. So a woman will stick around and be with you because you are a winner. You're one of one. Don't believe most men are losers? I challenge you to look at most women's husband. I promise you, they one of 3 things: fat, broke, or a combination of both. That's how you spot a man that's a loser. And if you continue to build on the path, I'm trying to tell you, if you're a man that's trying to make more money, trying to do different things, and trying to make the world actually bend to his will, a woman will always answer your call. They can trip on the internet talking about how many options they have, how many men want them. It's cap. Understand something. Women live in 2 separate realities. They live in one, the reality that they think they live in, which is the one you see on social media, and then the actual reality. If you're talking about numbers, strictly numbers, the numbers are on our side, fellas. Understand that if you're a man who is single, childless, making a decent amount of money, you are the rarest thing in the world. And to go into my demographic, black man and black woman, they outnumber us. Some people say 5, some people say 7. I've heard as high as 10 to 1. So just by you being a man, you are already in a rare category, let alone you not having children, let alone you making a little bit of money, let alone you in shape. You are 101. So if you're single and childless, you shouldn't be chasing no woman, because it's going to be the dividends that are going to pay off for you. Understand something. The things you're doing, there are going to be days where you don't feel like doing it. You're questioning why you're doing it. You feel like that you're a madman and everybody else is getting ahead of you. Don't fall into that trap, because your decisions are going to compound, just like theirs are going to compound. When you see these people going into marriages with people they don't like and shouldn't be with, going into debt, doing these destination weddings, going into debt, having a wedding, period, you got to understand that these decisions, they feel good right now in the short term, but they're going to compound long term. The economy is going more to more shit every single day. And there are people, according to most studies and most research, that do not have $1,000 saved up for an emergency. The middle class is pretty much, it's not vanishing, it's gone. And the gap between the have-nots, the have and the have-nots, are going to be even widened over the next couple of years. Andrew Tate said that it's not going to be the have and the have-nots. It's going to be the have-nots and the have-yachts. You're either going to go ahead and get on that divide where you're going to be in that top 5% of men, or you're going to be on the bottom scraping for pennies. And I bring that up as people are focused on the wrong thing, as opposed to making as much money as possible, as opposed to understanding how the economy works, as opposed to starting a business. They're focused on getting married, pleasing a woman, having a wedding. That wedding ain't going to save you in 5 years. Your wife ain't going to save you in 5 years. If you do not lock in right now and focus on you building yourself up, getting closer with Christ, building your portfolios, starting that business, doing things you're afraid of, you're going to be left behind. Let these people get married. Let them do what they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, all you got is two people, Christ and yourself. Nobody else. Nobody is coming to save you. So if you want to go ahead and bend the knee to the woman you've been talking to because she wants to get married and you're not ready, you are going to then enjoy the hell that you so rightfully deserve. When you see the wedding, understand you're looking at the highlight reel. Fellas, stay focused. You're not seeing the debt. You're not seeing that woman nagging that man. You're not seeing how that man constantly goes unhappy. You're not going to see how the wife's going to cheat the next 5 to 10 years. All you're going to see is them walking down the aisle, them showing all the perfectly curated images. These things are illusions, and it's time to shatter them. Your biggest flex is going to be complete time, location, and mental freedom. Their biggest flex already happened. For most people, it never gets better than a wedding and a house and a couple kids. And if that's okay with you, salute to you, my brother. I'm not even mad at you. But do not be the one complaining in the comments 10 to 15 years down the line when you can't retire. You're constantly working paycheck to paycheck. You have no savings saved up. You don't have any assets. Don't complain about any of that stuff. Accept the fact that you're okay with an average life and you want to go on with that. I have no problems with that. But if you're a man that wants more, you want to do more, it's time to step it up right now. That's going to require, maybe you can't go out all the time. Maybe you can't date as much. Maybe you can't get married in the next 5 or 10 years. But understand something. If you don't do that, if you hold off on these things, you will profit in the future. The same people that are rushing right now to get married and going to the altar are going to be the same ones that are going to quietly take down their wife's photos, quietly take down their husband's photos in the next 5 years. And it's going to be a whole new thing of finding themselves. It'll come out how one of the partners was abusive and they shouldn't have married that person. And now they're all about themselves and God. And I've seen the story unfold too many times, guys. The thing about being a man, the very few things about being a true man is you cannot make emotional decisions. And the majority of these people are making emotional decisions that they're going to regret. Are there going to be some marriages that are going to last? Absolutely. I would never knock that or take away that from anybody. But the majority of them are going to be in a very bad place in the next 10 years. So, men, play the long game. Don't let anybody rush your timeline. That wedding's going to be their moment, but the life you're building is going to be your legacy. And if you need help building that life, I have now officially opened up my 90-day men's transformation, Kill the Fantasy program. If you need help, link down in the description. I love y'all, boys. That's all my time. Till the next time, kill the fantasy, build a dream. We out of here.
Will I take him to the great? it. Yeah, 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 yeah.